Everton did was they recorded a loss of 24 point something million. Hunger कम दिखता है टीम में.
Nobody's talking about Liverpool.
I don't like Liverpool. Okay, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Everything Sports Podcast. Yes, as you can see, we have a new setup.
Yes.
And thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Keep it up, guys. So, Rishabh.
Yeah.
How's the new setup?
I think यार it's much better. Like थोड़ा और ज़्यादा हम like not the right word but cozy थोड़ा सा environment हो गया है.
हम comfortable
हम comfortable हो गए काफी ज़्यादा. But
नहीं, but this couch feels nice.
Yeah, this is like
मेरे लिए
nice.
पहली बार.
हाँ. But anyway, dude, I think we should just let's get on to it. कि क्या हो रहा है City के साथ? What is happening?
Okay. So
City?
straight into the City
yes,
thing. Okay.
Let's go, all warrior mode on.
Oh. यार हालैंड नहीं खेला यार.
भाई हालैंड I think अभी उसके इंजरी का क्या अपडेट क्या है? कब तक चल रहा है?
So last what I saw was like 2 days ago. Pep said कि it's a day-wise thing. It's not a serious thing. It's more of a strain than a proper injury. But yeah, I guess उस level पे अगर star power हो हालैंड जैसे प्लेयर का तो it makes sense to be safe.
Yes, of course. And at the same time यार आप जब सीजन लॉन्ग चीजों को देखते हो जैसे लाइक गॉर्डियोला देख ही रहा होगा कि यार मैं उसको एक मैच या 2 मैच के लिए अगर रश कर भी देता हूँ तो मेरे पास आने वाले इतने सारे गेम्स हैं जहाँ पे वो इंजरी वापस से अकर हो सकती है तो इट्स बेटर टू प्ले इट सेफ बट एट द सेम टाइम माय क्वेश्चन टू यू इज कैन यू सी द डिफरेंस इन मैनचेस्टर सिटीज टीम without De Bruyne because without De Bruyne and Haaland without De Bruyne
मैं वही बोलने वाला था कि bro they have to be safe now because they've already lost like a major player in De Bruyne
yes
who like holds the center
definitely
so उसके बिना we are already seeing a drop in the form
a major drop
yeah like even Haaland has like dropped compared to last season but that's थोड़ा unfair because last season was like the best a player can have
but
but
फिर भी बैलन डॉर तो नहीं मिला ना
अरे यार वो तो यार तू बुरा मान यार मेसी को मिल गया आई एम हैप्पी
नहीं बट एट द सेम टाइम आई फील लाइक कि सी इसमें यार 2-3 चीजें हैं देखने वाली मुझे कई बार ऐसा भी लगता है कि एक टीम जो कि लास्ट सीजन ट्रेबल जीती है उनका क्या मोटिवेशन है इस सीजन बिकॉज आप एक डिप आता है यार आप ह्यूमन
कर लिया सब
हाँ आप एक से आपने इतना डोमिनेटिंग परफॉर्मेंस दिया आपका बेस्ट डेकेड परफॉर्मेंस कह सकते हो आप इसको इजीली उसके बाद आपके मेन प्लेयर का बाहर होना 3 मैचेस आपने लगातार ड्रॉ कर दिए हैं एंड क्रेजी मतलब वो एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं था सिटी से आई मीन अगर इफ वी सी द टेबल राइट नाउ इट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट टेबल सो बेसिकली अभी जो टेबल है उसमें यार इफ यू कैन सी द टेबल लिवरपूल आर ऑन द फर्स्ट ठीक है फॉलोड बाय आर्सेनल
was expected
and then
the biggest underdog right now
exactly Aston Villa Unai Emery
but okay so coming back to that next year क्या motivation रहेगा अगर treble जीत गए तो I feel like अगर management सही है अगर एक hunger आपके पूरे टीम में है throughout तो I'm comparing this to the NBA कि like when the Lakers won when Chicago Bulls won like मैं pहले की बात कर रहा हूँ but every time you saw them after the win after the thing the conference the next thing was we'll do it again or we'll go for the three-peat so if you're a team that really wants to be the best and City is a younger club compared to
definitely
the big ones like United or let's say Barcelona or Real Madrid or whatever especially historically like when you look at the amount of trophies they have so they have to have that hunger right now I feel to like keep the momentum and keep winning and make their history right now because 10 years down the line they need to be at that level right
Chirag at the same time City ने इतने गेम्स खेले लास्ट सीजन बिकॉज हर चीज में वो लोग एंड तक गए राइट हर सीजन में मतलब लास्ट सीजन में उन्होंने अपना पूरा का पूरा 110% दे दिया तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि यार मेंटली एंड फिजिकली आपका एक डिप आना एक्सपेक्टेड है
एक्सपेक्टेड तो है बट दैट्स द थिंग ना दैट्स व्हाट डिफरेंशिएट्स a champion and a winner
that is also like and Pep Guardiola like उसकी लाइफ में ऐसा है कि नहीं करना तो पड़ेगा
but see even Pep के साथ ऐसा हुआ है कि लो पॉइंट्स हुए हैं like he's a great coach.
Don't get me wrong, but
पर वो भागेगा थोड़ी फील्ड.
But bro,
Bayern Munich के साथ भी he couldn't win the UCL. There was
like
that was sad. Yeah.
Like you have the best club.
Yeah.
It was during a time when Bayern Munich was dominating.
Yes.
अभी नहीं था कि Bayern Munich was
low in form or something.
So ऐसा नहीं है कि it doesn't affect these guys. It obviously affects them, I guess. दिखता है वो तो. But having the key players injured, I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like even when you talk about other teams like Barcelona with Gavi's injury, like I personally as a fan feel like Barcelona have only 2 players that like depict that hunger
yes
to win. Araujo and Gavi. Like दिखता है उनके उस पे.
कि हाँ.
Gavi is diving head first,
bro. Like
yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
So लगता है कि हाँ यार if these two aren't there, एक वो overall hunger कम दिखता है टीम में.
यार वही
motivation कम हो जाती है.
आप ये सोचो ना, वो they are not just any players, like वो अपनी फील्ड अपनी पोजीशन पे they are the best in the world.
Yeah.
और उसका कहीं ना कहीं आपको दिखेगा तो सही. By the same time, like what do you feel like ये सीजन है किसका? Because
Premier League wise,
because last season it was.
I hope Aston Villa comes second at least.
And I
hope Arsenal win. Like because it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
They were very close last.
Yeah, and they've been consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently growing.
Yeah.
That is the main thing. कि कभी भी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि हाँ यार as a fan कि like क्या हो रहा है यार. It's like हाँ there's a process. You followed it and even the fans were like okay let's trust the process. And अब दिख रहे हैं results. They're second on the table with like 1 point less or something.
Yeah.
So that's like okay, like you can still win.
But at the same time Premier League this season फिर भी थोड़ा बहुत exciting है.
Yeah.
इसमें मेरे 2 pointers हैं. एक तो first of all at least we have 4 clubs right now because
Yeah.
अभी बहुत ज़्यादा difference है नहीं. ऐसा नहीं कि आप 10 points आगे हो.
हाँ.
ठीक है हम लोग अभी
Minor-
बहुत ज़्यादा
minor
exactly.
gaps.
अभी भी
Plus it's half a
बचा
season
बहुत है.
left, yeah.
Exactly.
Half a season
Season
left.
बहुत बचा है.
Yeah.
My question to you is, do you feel like Arteta ने जो last season, Arsenal ने जो last season जो problem हुआ था Arsenal का, they were leading the league, but second half of the season, all of them got exhausted because they were putting everything in, and वहाँ पे City took the lead. Remember how City like came from behind
See,
and won the league.
I don't think they got exhausted. It was more कि like इतने high के बाद when you are touted to win the league, एक mentally एक confidence आ जाता है. Even that one small loss can like derail you mentally.
But यार
completely.
Chirag, but second half of the Arsenal season was very bad as compared
Yeah,
to the
but
first.
the
first
thing
half of
is
the season.
They completely lost the thing in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So that was more crucial.
And that is-
तब तक भी even the draws and everything it worked out for them. But then आखिरी के 2 महीने like it just fell apart.
यार बट वो ये ना चिराग लाइक इस लीग की जहाँ अब लीग्स की जहाँ पे बात करते हो वहाँ पे यू डोंट हैव टू थिंक सी फॉर मी चैंपियंस लीग इज अ 100-meter रेस.
हाँ.
प्रीमियर लीग इज अ मैराथन.
Yeah.
आप ठीक है अभी आप पीछे थे बट आखिरी के 300 मीटर में या फिर आखिरी के 2 months में आप किस मेंटालिटी के साथ घुसे हुए हो, आप किस तरीके से जाते हो, वो बहुत मैटर करता है बिकॉज दैट इज वेयर everything gets decided na.
But then you have to look at the experience also na. Arsenal have one of the youngest squads.
Yes.
So none of them have that experience of winning the Premier League or even I don't think most of them have even gone to the Champions League at like a bigger stage. So kahin na kahin you have to account for that also.
Yeah.
So like I feel like Arsenal have learned from the last season and dikh raha hai wo. They're trying to be more consistent in the style they're playing, in the overall lineups and everything. You see like quite a few players like they're not playing every match but it's smartly constructed.
Yes, rotation hai team mein.
So that's very important and even Arteta I feel like is learning. He's not like Pep Guardiola obviously. So I think okay like agar thoda even if they like fuck up thoda bahut it's fine like because obviously I'm not an Arsenal fan so I can't speak for them ऐसे.
But at the same time you feel bad for those young boys जिन्होंने अपना इतना सीजन लास्ट सीजन
यार वो तो
यार उसके पहले भी 1-1.5 साल उनका काफी बेकार रहा यार, काफी ज्यादा प्रेशर वाला रहा
because
क्लब में कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं चल रहा था.
because look एक पार्ट होता है कि तुम स्पोर्टिंग डायरेक्टर, ओनर, इन लोगों को अपने साइड कर लो एज अ मैनेजर कि हाँ ट्रस्ट द प्रोसेस. बट फैंस को अपने साइड करना इज अ whole different thing, man, because these are like 3 or 4 opinions.
Yes, as compared
these are billions.
Depends on the club again. Billions and billions of opinions you have to control. That is very difficult, man. Like even when you talk about any other sport, let's say cricket also, India bhi abhi jo hua World Cup.
Yes.
There are still a lot of people who are criticizing कि ऐसा करना चाहिए था, ये करना चाहिए था and all. But you have to look at the positives also.
Yes.
कि हाँ, they're growing. They were still second in the league, which is a big deal. So somewhere I think हाँ वो पहुँच रहे हैं वापस to the Arsenal of old. And yeah, man, like I'm not saying कि they'll be the Invincibles again or whatever. That is to a different level of feat, man. Like that is incredible. But हाँ, I feel like they can win.
No, but
I hope they win.
Yeah,
really, like मेरे लिए ये सीजन स्टार्ट होने से पहले could you see a team like Aston Villa coming into the top 4 beating Arsenal and City in a like 5 दिन के difference में?
Honestly, I didn't think about it. But then again, Unai Emery is a legend.
Crazy,
like he's
crazy.
technically so gifted. Like
the
Things he has done with like other teams, like
he's
before
so
coming
smart.
like he knows what player to play with.
Well, like
basically I was reading all of these articles.
हाँ.
उसमें like सबका एक तरीका होता है नो to get into the game, एक कोचिंग स्टाइल होता है. Unai Emery is someone जो कि बहुत ज्यादा बिलीव करता है वीडियो टेप्स पे कि कौन से प्लेयर ने कहाँ गलती करी, कौन सा प्लेयर कहाँ पे अच्छा खेल सकता है, कहाँ पे हमें नहीं करना है. This was the biggest difference. जब जेरार्ड था एज अ हेड कोच, बहुत सारे टाइम ऐसा होता था they would just clear the बॉल चला गया आपके पास से, पोजीशन नहीं है आपके पास. एंड जेरार्ड के सेकंड सीजन में when they have only won like 2 games out of 12 and they decided कि नहीं, we need a different management, different coach. Unai Emery आया, they was at 16th position. They finished their last season league like being at the 7th, I guess. 7th से now they're on the 3rd.
Yeah, that's massive.
And
fourth.
No, 3rd.
Like right now they're at 3rd, right?
3rd, yeah.
They have defeated Arsenal.
Yeah.
They have defeated Manchester City, which happened for the first time. Unai Emery ने अपनी लाइफ में first time Guardiola की टीम को हराया है इस बार. And I just want कि like with everything which is going around like football जो भी चल रहा है, I want this team to win. I really want it because यार come on, we all मुझे ऐसा लगता है
want to repeat
the Leicester वाला.
Yes, please.
The Leicester thing
Actually got so many fans back into football.
Yeah.
कि like wow, okay, like हाँ अब ऐसा नहीं रहा कि भाई
top 3 teams are winning, ऐसा नहीं रहा.
And the
But
way
yeah.
they did it, the way they did
Yeah.
nobody was expecting
But it was an incredible season they had, man.
Oof.
like
Jamie Vardy in
like top form,
Yeah.
bro. It
Yeah.
was
insane watching that.
yeah.
And at the same time, I feel like JB, but Leicester was Leicester. They can like
But
nothing
see-
can take away.
With this thing, with the Unai Emery thing.
Yeah.
Last podcast पे हमने उनसे बात की थी, कपिल सर से, है ना? And remember I asked him कि do losing players make better
Coaches.
I think it comes back to that, man.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard was never a
Losing
player.
Yeah.
He was
He
always
is a champion level player.
So I feel like he wouldn't focus on the minor details
Yeah.
which can go wrong, which usually go wrong. But Unai Emery has seen those losses as a
Exactly.
manager.
And especially
And he
Arsenal के
knows-
manager रह के भी यार to take
Exactly.
that
So
pressure.
so
He, Aston.
नहीं, but he was like Arsenal manager.
अच्छा ये तो मैं
also,
पहले
yeah.
okay
Yeah.
मतलब
की बात कर.
so
But the thing is, if you've seen those losses, you think about कि हाँ, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
And then you make it a point कि हाँ, इस सब पे मेरे को वर्क करना है. कि अगर मेरे को पता है कि डिफेंस में ऐसे सिचुएशन में पासेस हो सकते गलत, तो आई हैव टू मेक माय प्लेयर्स कॉन्फिडेंट इनफ ऐसे सिचुएशंस में. सो ही विल वर्क ऑन दैट
specifically then.
So I think as a coach it's very important. Like we're seeing this in Bundesliga,
Yeah.
Leverkusen.
Across all
And
major
Xavi
leagues.
Alonso is not a player who's lost a lot.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
The
Dude.
experience he's had under so many amazing
Yeah.
managers, like he's played under every top manager, I think.
Yes. And Mourinho like said it, yeah, like Xabi Alonso would make a very great coach, and
and this was
his reason कि he's played under so many
amazing coaches.
At the same time, when you are a manager and आप like of course like you're the big player जो आपकी टीम के अच्छे रहते हैं, like एजेड प्लेयर्स रहते हैं, जो कि सीजन्ड प्लेयर्स रहते हैं, आप जब उनको देखते हो कि हाँ यार ये he knows what I'm talking about,
बुढ़े बोलने का अच्छा वो
exactly no but at the same time अगर Mourinho बोल रहा है he can make he can be a good coach,
and then that's something
वो future predict करता है.
Mourinho is so
another level, like he's a meme for a reason.
Yes, exactly dude. So उसने अगर बोल दिया तो हाँ मेरे को कहीं ना कहीं confident है Xabi Alonso में, but at the same time Chirag I feel like यार after years and years अगर आप सारी leagues देखो, when we talk about La Liga, Girona, we talk about Bayern Leverkusen in Bundesliga, and we see Aston Villa, and see to be in the top 4, it's like it's still doable. I don't want to jinx it, I don't want to be the one जो उसको jinx करे, but
I feel minimum they can finish in the top 4.
Dude, I want them to win.
I believe they can. Like it's a good squad.
Yeah,
it's a very good squad.
But in सारी चीजों में यार पता है we are forgetting one thing, Liverpool. Nobody's talking about Liverpool.
I don't like Liverpool.
I'm sorry, but
do you really think like maybe
they've been consistent?
Yeah,
like their credit, they are a great team.
This season, पिछला season was like okay.
They're generally a great team.
Yeah.
It's not like on paper, it's a great team.
Yeah.
But then again, like personally, in my opinion, I don't really prefer Liverpool winning. I don't know why, but
like नहीं
you know why exactly.
मिल चुके हैं चैंपियंस लीग बारसा से, तो नहीं था अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस.
But dude, ला लीगा में जिरोना का आना,
bro, I don't know, like even as a La Liga fan, it feels like where the hell did they come from? Like, क्या हो रहा है ये?
It's just their 4th season.
And the thing is, the entire table, all the good teams are like losing a lot. Like you look at Villarreal and Sevilla, who are consistently entering the Europa League.
Yes. Minimum at
least. Who are winning the Europa League.
Yes.
Sevilla have won the Europa League recently also.
That is their thing.
And Villarreal, like what are they called? The Yellow Submarine. They have had such a great consistent decade, and now they're in like 16th or something. That's just sad. And even with Sevilla, because Ramos, like I feel for him, man. Even that day in the Champions League last match, he scored. He's like, I think the only defender to have so many goals or whatever. But I feel for him, man, because Sevilla is a great team. It has given the world amazing players.
Yes, definitely.
And I think even Rakitic was in Sevilla before this. Like, it has proven ki we are a great club. But then, I don't know, man, what's going on this season. Like, Girona is so completely like out of the blue, man. He's just up and like leading. Real, Barca, Atletico down. If they win on Monday, they will be 9 points clear of Barcelona, which is
amazing,
massive.
Crazy thing.
Like the last club that did
that was, I think, Real.
Yeah.
So,
but Chirag, like, see, we know that Girona को खरीद लिया है CFC ने, which is like City Football Club. उसके फेडरेशन के अंडर आ रहा है.
That helps, obviously.
That helps.
But when you look at the squad, you don't see that money invested in it.
But exactly. But at the same time, that is true.
It's more tactical. It's not about the money for them.
Behind the scenes, क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ? They have good options. Sometimes City buy the players under their name, then they loan it out to Girona. And ठीक है, वो बहुत सारे players वैसे नहीं है. But at the same time, I feel like कि कहीं ना कहीं, what do you think about this? एक CFC है. Like, here's a situation for you. एक CFC है जिसके अंडर में 10 क्लब्स आते हैं, ठीक है? Let's just assume अभी 10 है.
काफी
है.
They have
one in Australia, they have one in New York.
ठीक है. अभी हम ये मानते हैं कि प्रीमियर लीग में उनके पास हो गई सिटी, उनके पास ला लीगा में हो गया जिरोना. Let's just say कि in the next 4 years they are a very dominant team. ठीक है? They also have a team in Bundesliga. ऐसा हम assume कर लेते हैं. अगर कल को चैंपियंस लीग होता है जहां पे all 4 or maybe 2 or 3 of their clubs are in the like semi-final, like 4
But
में से
नहीं हो
सकता ना.
क्यों?
There's a rule or something. ना, I was reading this that day. I'm not sure about this.
नहीं.
But there's a certain rule. Like एक owner के multiple clubs नहीं हो सकते. कुछ है ऐसा.
There is this rule, but at the same time एक owner के नहीं हो सकते, but एक foundation के I don't know. Like we have to get into the rule.
Won't it count as the like? It counts as one company,
right?
Yeah, it does.
So,
it does. But at the same time, मैं तुझे बोल रहा हूँ.
It's like
कि IPL में नाइट राइडर्स के भाई कोलकाता से भी खेल रहे, दिल्ली
से भी खेल रहे, तो like ऐसे थोड़ी होता है यार.
Hear me out. जिरोना अगर फॉर एग्जांपल इस सीजन टॉप 4 में रहती है, ठीक है, सिटी इस साल ऑफ कोर्स टॉप 4 में रहेगी, ठीक है, ये दोनों टीमें नेक्स्ट
ईयर ऑफ कोर्स अच्छा लगा मेरे को
कॉन्फिडेंस सिटी में.
हाँ बट यार वो तो डेफिनेटली होने वाला. सी पेप गार्डियोला रश कर ही लेगा.
कुछ अपसेट हो गया क्रेजी सा.
that is football.
They still have
those 110 115 lawsuits. You
never know, bro.
That
like
is a different
with Everton getting that big drop in points, they what
17.
So like explain that situation. क्या है like हो सकता है कई लोगों को वो बैक स्टोरी ना पता हो.
So basically
what happened with Everton was as a Premier League club over a span of 3 years,
yes,
you're allowed to lose a certain amount of money,
yes,
which is
approximately 105 million.
Spread over 3 years. So किसी साल आपका 90 हो गया, किसी साल 5, किसी साल 10,
whatever, yeah.
What Everton did was during COVID and everything, a lot of their revenue dropped.
Yes.
As did for like a lot of clubs, but it worked out for a lot of them.
Yes.
So what Everton did was they recorded a loss of
124
point something million over the 3 years.
Yes.
So now the EPL wale board and everything are like you can't do that, and we're giving you this fine. So they've paid a certain amount also, and they have this point deduction also. So this is the entire thing. And
you would think
ki why not clubs like City or something, like, because we've seen these point deductions in other leagues, like Juventus had a big point deduction recently. So ho sakta hai, even for City I feel like ho sakta hai.
But yaar Chirag, see, Everton only had 3 cases.
The thing is, it
came down to 115.
Even with Everton, I feel like it came down to leniency. If the board was a bit more lenient, I don't think this would have happened.
Yeah,
it would have been like a general fine, not a point deduction, because a point deduction is major, man.
Yeah.
Like you're coming in like 10-12 games into the season, and then you get a 10-point deduction.
Yeah.
It's massive.
At the same time,
a club like Everton, which is a very good level club, it's not a Champions League level club, but it's still, for me, a Europa League level club. It's
definitely
a very good club, man. So
what will happen here when like 115 cases of Manchester City get?
I hope they go down.
What are
the charges? Like what will be the like downside of it? I think they are going to take last.
Yeah, they'll take the
titles
and they will be taking
the points.
They will deduct the point, but they will also go into like they will have to play that League One, like something like, which is just
the championship or something.
Yeah, the championship.
And it's so weird, their hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like the
names.
Yeah,
because
League 2 is not 2.
Yeah, no, that's
the championship is 2. Okay, so it's so confusing, but it's fine. Like I feel like अगर होगा ना तो सही से होगा.
I hope ho.
Like हर चीज के साथ होगा.
Yeah.
कि like points भी गए and you're stripped of your titles.
Yeah.
And automatically if you go down to a second tier or third tier league,
you will lose your place.
Budget caps लग जाएंगे.
Yes.
So the players will automatically leave. You can't afford players like Haaland, De Bruyne, anyone if you're in the second tier or third tier league, because they have their own budget caps.
But Chirag, I'm as a football fan. I'm like legit very scared about all of these big Saudi people coming in and changing the rules and regulation by setting the rules, because the charges I was reading about Manchester City was that Kevin De Bruyne, for example, they booked him for like 30 million on paper.
Yeah.
Club records mein, club ki books mein. But behind the scenes, he's getting more money. So now you have bought that $70 million player for just 30 million, and you're paying him 40 million alag se gayi, by giving him this thing, that alag cheese, that foundation is giving him that money.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know what is going on like in their heads,
Hmm.
but if you're at that level, you should be aware कि हाँ, you will be under scrutiny at all times. You have to be careful about how you
But
do
only
your finances, how you do all these things.
But these are
City
not for, like,
were
small
not
clubs.
careful.
City were not careful, and it shows like even we know कि हाँ कितना मिल रहा है और कितना पीछे से मिल रहा है.
Yeah, but
This is not something that usually fans know about. This is like hush hush back
Area
Exactly,
में
backdoor, like,
finance.
deals, yeah.
like even like most of the players or most of the staff doesn't know about all these things
Hmm.
mostly. So they clearly haven't had their finances in like a secret vault or something, which they should have.
Hmm.
But it's okay. Like I feel like अगर होना है,
But
So
is it
it
fair
will
though?
be a
big statement to
But
the
is it-
entire football world.
But is it fair though?
Yeah, if you're breaking the laws, then there has to be some punishment, man. Like
Exactly, but see,
it has to be, man. Like
Yeah.
even like you look at Everton, जिनका it was like a basic thing.
Yeah.
It's not like they're paying their players more or
Hmm,
something. It's
hmm.
not कि black money के उसमें पहुंच गए.
Hmm.
They're just showing more losses.
Yeah.
Which is normal क्योंकि हुए हैं losses.
ठीक है.
अगर उतने में तुम 10-point deduction दे सकते हो, so City should definitely be stripped of the titles, man. Like
Why
it's
not?
not proven yet.
if it's proven,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Yes.
And I don't know, यार, like with all this Saudi money, कितने लोग इस चीज को seriously लेंगे? Because at the same time, you have to feel like कि the people who are making this call, do they genuinely feel about this sport or about
So
this league?
See, this is what I feel about the future.
Hmm.
This case is very important for the future of football in general.
Definitely.
If it's proven कि ऐसा हुआ है, and then punishment is not that severe, it will be like हाँ तुम खरीद सकते हो पूरा
Yeah.
football.
Something can be done.
Like then it's like कि money has the power. It's not about football then.
Yeah.
It's about the geopolitical and economical standpoints of these owners and everything.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what player you have. If you have the money, you'll get out of
And
it.
Yeah, if you
situation.
have the
So,
brains, if you have the right contact,
it-
yeah.
It will be very sad to see if it's proven and they don't get fines or something and they don't get stripped or they don't get point deductions or whatever. It will be very sad for the entire football world.
Yeah, but Chirag, like coming back to that topic also.
And then I feel like हाँ फिर Super League होगा.
Exactly.
क्योंकि then it's like हाँ पैसा ही है बस अब.
Yeah, yeah.
Football
It's
is
dead then.
right people at like right positions, and then boom, it can happen.
खरीद लो.
Yeah, and that is where I'm like a bit sad about कि यार football में हो क्या रहा है? It is becoming more about like
The behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Hmm.
backdoor, alley door deals हो रही हैं.
Hmm.
बड़े-बड़े clubs हैं जो ये चाहते हैं कि हम छोड़ के यार like you know we want to start our own. And I was reading the articles and documents regarding this case also. It can happen. On paper, it can. If
Yeah.
8 or 10 people teams they come together and they feel like यार if we are making most of the money for these leagues and we want to start our own league,
it can happen. It's
Not
not.
a
it's the
big
way
deal, I
last
feel.
time the way it happened out of nowhere, that was wrong, and that is something which can be worked on.
The thing is,
Good PR, marketing.
I feel like that was just a stunt. Like
हाँ?
जो again my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not saying कि ऐसा सही में हुआ
Yeah.
है. I feel like that entire Super League वाला drama that happened in
Hmm.
those 2 days
hmm,
was a stunt
why?
to get it into your head.
एक बार के ऐसा
कि
निकल
ये
रहा है.
Possible है.
Yeah.
This is the future of football.
Yeah.
कि PSG will play Barca
Yeah.
and Real will play United, and this will happen almost every week.
Yeah.
It's not a Champions League thing
Hmm.
कि 3 महीने मैचेस हुए alternate weeks में
Hmm.
and फिर 2 महीने off है
Hmm.
फिर round of 16 and all this. It is a huge possibility.
Hmm.
And from their perspective I kind of get it कि भाई हाँ अगर हम कमा रहे हैं
Hmm.
तो why not just combine and earn more.
Hmm.
That makes sense money wise.
Hmm.
But then football wise it's a bit sad because
Yeah.
then we won't get to see these stories.
Exactly.
कि Aston Villa is winning, Leicester is winning,
But do you think?
Leverkusen is winning.
But-
Because these clubs will definitely not be in that Super League. Wala.
Yeah.
These are too small.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't have the money to enter that Super League unless they have those rules कि हाँ छोटे clubs भी allowed एक दो.
नहीं होगा यार. It is all about that. League is all about money. That is it. At the same time, I also feel like कि जब Bayern Munich versus United होता है, everybody is excited.
हाँ कि यूनाइटेड हारेगी ये
maybe, but the point is, दो बड़े क्लब्स दो अलग लीग के जब साल में एक बार आमने सामने होते हैं, उसका एक अलग किक होता है as compared to every week.
So that time, that
it's
like the time taken
builds the anxiety and the hype and everything.
Two
Yeah.
big clubs. Bayern Munich is facing United. PSG
This
is
is
facing
okay. So
Madrid.
this is
it's a very stupid comparison, but
Yeah.
it's like watching shows right now, TV shows.
Yeah.
like yeah.
Because we've grown up watching shows, waiting for them for like 7 days, and then we watch an episode.
शक्तिमान
नहीं,
मैंने नहीं रोका मैं कभी.
Very sorry. I meant like sitcoms.
Yeah.
But like we've grown up in that generation where we watched these shows week after week,
Yeah.
one episode
Yeah.
at a time, and then we waited for like 3 months, 4 months
Yes.
for a new season.
Yeah.
That built up the hype.
Yes.
Nowadays it's like हाँ एक दो season आए देख
लेंगे.
Okay.
ठीक है.
देखने को 50 चीजें हैं.
हाँ,
ठीक है.
That's हो जाते हैं.
तो यार वही है ना यार कि हम PSG और यूनाइटेड को इसलिए नहीं देखना चाहता बिकॉज दे आर PSG एंड यूनाइटेड. हम इसलिए देखना चाहते हैं बिकॉज दो बड़े इंजन्स हैं दो अलग लीग में.
The hype matters.
Yes. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि that would be a very bad idea because at the same time people who are watching these small teams, गवर्नमेंट हो गई जो they won't forget this. कि यार आपने ये लीग छोड़ के आपने ये पूरी साइकिल और हायरार्की को तोड़ के you started your own league.
Yeah, because this is one more thing we aren't talking about. कि a club playing in a league does not only affect that club.
Yes.
It affects like 10 other
things.
Yes.
So yeah, that is also a major thing.
Yeah, see अब Luton Town जिसके बारे में I think मैंने 3 साल पहले तक सुना भी नहीं होगा.
So basically अब Luton Town अगर Super League हुई तो Luton Town में कभी Manchester City आएगी नहीं खेलने.
कभी नहीं आ सकता.
So they will never get those amount of ticket sales.
Exactly.
And that's sad to hear कि like small clubs who have shown potential, not specifically talking about Luton Town, but like in general, those clubs will never be able to reach that level.
अगर सुपर लीग
वो हो जाएगा
तो क्या
कि
हम लेस्टर कभी देख पाते हैं? लेस्टर सिटी का जीतना
नहीं होता ही नहीं ना, वो पहुंचती ही नहीं उस
level
level.
लेस्टर सिटी को आप कभी भी नहीं देख पाते यूनाइटेड के अगेंस्ट, चेल्सी के अगेंस्ट, सिटी के अगेंस्ट, आर्सेनल के अगेंस्ट.
It will be the same as it is in terms of industries right now in business. Ki the rich get richer,
Yeah.
the poor get poorer.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And if you have to enter a new industry, like basically if you're a small team and you have to enter that league, you'll have to come up with so much investment and money कि like खरीदना है हमको spot.
Yeah.
And then it's about money.
नहीं, it's not about
It's not
कि तुम भाई
अपने skills आए हो या players ने जितवाया है. Like even if you win it,
yeah.
what is the point then?
Nothing.
Like it's just
Who's the richest?
yeah.
That's it.
And यार ये जितने भी सुपर लीग होंगे यार that like सारे बोर्ड्स इनके अलग रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन बनाने वाला है, तो मुझे तो कहीं ना कहीं लगता है ये ओपन अप कैप
And
कर देंगे.
people-
Hitting the board would be people like Florentino Perez.
I hate that guy.
I respect that guy.
नहीं, he's a very smart
I
businessman.
hate
That guy, but I respect
that guy.
As a businessman, ठीक है, fine, ठीक है, he's doing very good. But when it comes to like when I see यार
but
football
for
में
him
क्या हो रहा है?
football is
in football. For him, football is business.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Fair enough. You have to like, but at the same time like Luton Town का did you see last like अभी match abandon हो गया.
yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Like
So
I hope
defender, he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay. I read the article. And
yeah.
So he had a heart surgery last year.
अच्छा.
So that's why he had some complication or something.
हाँ.
He collapsed, and they halted the play for like half an hour or something.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay,
Okay, let's
बाद
just
में
finish.
इसको दे दिया.
वैसे ही draw ही था, I think 1-1 ही हो रहा था.
कुछ ऐसा ही था.
But at
And
the
then
same
they-
time like I hope यार like
ये चीज थोड़ी
नहीं, it's
हाँ.
थोड़ा traumatic to see all these
thing
things.
even with
That guy Christensen.
yeah
Yeah.
what a like turnaround he had यार. I really felt bad for him when the club
because he's a
announced-
great
Player, but then if these things happen, तो थोड़ा लगता है
हाँ.
like,
नहीं especially
Shit,
I
यार.
like a lot of people are watching it
yeah
like the cases of Eriksen and then this guy, but ठीक है, hopefully they have a very good medical team behind him.
yeah
He will get back stronger I guess. But yeah,
okay so
you saw the Champions League.
Champions League was good, but there was some usual news.
Yeah, I'm just happy कि Barca will not have to face Munich, and we have delayed that for one more round.
yeah
One match at a time.
so
A lot of people don't know this, but in the Champions League, when you draw the teams, in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain amount of rules you have to follow.
Yeah.
So Real and Barca will never be in the same
Yeah.
group ever,
Yeah.
because they have these Spanish TV regulations to think about. Again, the money is bigger,
Yeah.
so you will never have that, because it will be on the same day then.
Yeah.
You have Real and Barca playing on the same day.
Hmm.
They'll be against each other, obviously, but if it's like against Team A and these guys against Team B, so it'll be on the same day, same time.
Hmm.
So they can't have that,
Hmm.
because then Spain wale kya dekhenge?
Yeah.
So like,
These things we have to consider, and because of these reasons, Barca have been drawn with Bayern Munich a lot,
yeah.
because like वो कहीं ना कहीं वो pot mix हो ही जाता है
Yeah,
Oh,
it becomes so
yeah.
sad.
वो Barca fans की like भाई कितनी बार. But then this time I am happy कि we're facing new people,
Yeah.
and let's see the round of 16 draw.
Like, what do you feel like? क्या होने वाला है?
We have like good teams to face, I guess, na? Wait,
Yeah.
I'll check. Because
So we have how many teams?
Copenhagen,
Yeah.
PSV,
Uh,
Napoli, Inter,
okay.
finalists, man. Lazio, PSG,
PSG.
Leipzig, and Porto.
Yeah.
So we might face PSG. You never know. And even PSG, I feel like is improving. I wouldn't say have
Hmm.
improved. Is improving under Luis Enrique.
Yeah.
But then again, Luis Enrique also has his downs. It's not like he's the perfect manager.
Mm-hmm.
He also has his downs. We saw that during the World Cup
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
And like sometimes the things are out of your control.
Oh.
See, so like Spain have this sad thing ki like they usually lose on penalties, because as a team they've built it in such a way ki like they'll extend the game,
Hmm.
they'll pass, they'll try to score less instead of trying to control more. So I feel like kahin na kahin, and he was like we had every player take 100 penalties before the World Cup, SAE practice mein and all this.
Hmm.
Even then they lost the penalty shootout.
Dude, it's
So,
too much.
That is football, I feel.
Yeah, that
He
is
like,
too much.
हाँ.
That is football. कि
Yeah.
भाई हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता
So, yeah.
है. You can't practice for
This
That day,
stuff,
that
man.
hour, that minute. It's all about that. Dude, like I still remember I was like tournament का नाम तो it's like it was very normal tournament and it was the semi-final and I had to take a penalty and usually like हमारे स्कूल में या हमारे
Pressure.
place में yeah it's very decided कि यार कौन लेने वाला penalties. I just because यहाँ पे international level पे तो they have all the scripts ना कि इसने last 5 penalties कहाँ लिए है, ये यही मारता है, इसने penalty यही मारता है.
स्कूल और ये नॉर्मल टूर्नामेंट्स में कुछ भी नहीं है तो
Dude, who's
बस
this guy?
इंटिमिडेट कर दो.
Yeah, exactly. And I always had this set regime, I would say, कि मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ with my penalties. But dude, the people around me, and for the very first time, I felt like, yeah, dude, when World Cup final is happening, when million of people are watching you,
Hmm.
and
It is
World
like
Cup सब मिल.
yeah, exactly, World
It's
Cup हो
World
गया,
Cup.
Champions League हो गया, big leagues हो गए, and when there's too much pressure.
yeah.
Too much pressure because one point like sometimes चलो ठीक है top teams की बात हम करते हैं but what if
So I don't believe कि कोई भी ऐसा player है जिसको pressure feel नहीं होता.
Definitely.
Like I feel like that's a good thing ना.
Yeah.
Like, थोड़ा है like it shows कि हाँ you care about.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
have this thing कि हाँ.
and you
This
think
is
like
very
much
important.
smarter कि मेरे को क्या करना है
but
sometimes see winning the leagues are a separate
matter.
अगर आप जीते तो आप जीते आप हारे तो हारे but what about this penalty is going to get you 3 points which will save you from getting relegated.
What about this penalty will win you the World Cup?
Yeah,
Think about
but
that, like, that is-
also true but at the
Yeah,
same
bro.
time leagues में यार चिराग leagues में तो सोच if you miss this penalty this club is going to
Will be
get
relegated, yeah.
relegated अब तू जा नीचे
That's
and everybody will
big,
be like fuck you man because of you.
Yeah, but see this. It happened with England.
Yeah.
recently. Yeah, they lost that penalty shootout.
Yes.
People were. Who was it? Rashford missed. I don't know. Some
Uh-huh.
player missed. It was like 2 or 3 years back.
Hmm.
Now. I think it was in the Euros or something.
I think it was Rashford only.
Yeah. So the thing is, as fans, you have to be supportive of the player at this time, because
Hmm.
like fans are fickle. they will forget about the highs very instantly.
Yes.
And that's human nature. We forget about the highs very instantly, but we'll remember the lows. So I feel like kahin na kahin we have to mature and be like, theek hai yaar, like we still got to this stage, which is huge. So even with like Barcelona, we were talking about the La Liga, everyone's criticizing Xavi right now, right? And even as a fan, I feel like kahin na kahin he's going wrong. But the thing is, you're not looking at the facts ki he won the La Liga last year,
which was a shocker. But like for me, it was
a season before that, he was the club was 9th,
and
he got them back to like 2nd or 3rd,
and then Champions League
in half a season. And then he won the La Liga. He got them back into the Champions League, out of the Europa League. Bhale Europa bhi haar gaye, koi dikkat nahi. But now they're back in the Champions League. Now they're competing for the top prize again. So it's not ki like galat. Like even now they've topped their Champions League group. They're in the round of 16 after 2-3 years or something. So it's not growth nahi ho rahi hai. It's like he has to experiment thoda to find the perfect thing, and we have to trust the process. It's difficult, but
we have to.
Other clubs are like, जहाँ पे बार्सिलोना का ये turbulent year आया था in the last 3-4 years, सारे clubs they were doing their best
to catch up.
And now like कुछ लोग हैं जो कि थोड़ा बहुत आगे बढ़ गए हैं, they have better management, they have a good understanding, the club is not as turbulent as compared to like finances and all that. So for Barcelona and like मुझे ऐसा कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कि now some of the bigger clubs are going down, and which is also giving space for like smaller clubs. For example, see, smaller clubs are getting a lot of exposure. If you see Hollywood stars like Ryan Reynolds, they have
Wrexham, man.
Exactly. They are putting in their money. They are getting like अच्छे से एक मैनेजमेंट करते करते now it is becoming a business also कि यार ठीक है, we want to see यार.
It's because sports has become such a huge part of pop culture. Ryan Reynolds, we were talking about him right now, and he recently bought an F1 team.
Like, oh really?
Yeah, so not alone. He had a consortium and everything. But he now owns an F1 team.
What's the fuss about F1? What is going on in the F1 world?
You don't watch F1.
I do. Sometimes I do. Like I've seen some documentaries and like series, but like what is happening? What is the biggest thing going on in F1 right now?
कुछ नहीं, अभी तो season break है.
Okay.
नहीं, but it's very exciting, man. I certainly feel like this. And again, हो सकता है people don't agree. It's okay, but it's such a strategic sport. Like it's more strategic than football or tennis or all these things.
How?
I feel like, because you have so many factors that can affect it. Like when you talk about the car they have or the driver, let's say in the entire season would have a 40% role, which is also thoda zyada. 60% role is engineering, technology,
research and development,
your brain, how you can, because all of these teams have been given a certain budget कि let's say 100 million है, तुम इतने में गाड़ी बनाओ बस, for example. 100 million नहीं होगा कभी,
ठीक है,
हाँ, for example इतना है. So this is the amount you can spend on it. Everyone has that set amount. Everyone gets that FIA rule book, the thick big black rule book, which is detailed to like the smallest of screws. कि इस screw का size with dimensions इतना ही होगा. So you have to figure out छोटी छोटी चीजें कि like how you can move this around or make more space for this or more space for that or whatever, the parts of the car and all this, to make it the best car on the field. Because that's the difference. Like we talk about F1 in the old days, it's going on since like 1950s.
Okay.
Back then drivers का role ज़्यादा था. So if you were into F1 in the 1950s or whatever, you just needed a car.
Okay.
Obviously उनका कुछ होगा कि ऐसे type की हो या whatever, but you just needed a car. उसमें ऐसा नहीं था कि भाई your steering wheel has like 50 buttons, your radio is on the team, like you're always talking to the team, you have this helmet, you have that, you have fireproof suits and all this. Like ये सब कुछ भी नहीं था तब. The car wasn't even like it didn't even have that wing in the back.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that have changed. Back then it was more about the drivers.
Yeah.
And how risky is the driver willing to get in terms of turning late or like braking late or taking a different line or whatever. Nowadays it's more about the technology, and it's so minute ki like it's going on. Like recently also it happened. Red Bull is dominating right now since the past 2-3 years. And the thing is, it's not major what they've done to their car. It's very minor, but the effect it's had is major. And every other team is basically figuring out कि हम वो कैसे करें, या हम कुछ वैसा करें कि भाई इतना इफेक्ट हो. So it's not a race to win. It's a race to be better.
Yeah.
It's never a race to win. That's the thing. If you're better than everyone, you are automatically winning. And you talk about like I think you must know Hamilton.
Yeah, of course.
Big names.
Yeah.
So nowadays everyone is like, yeah, F1 is boring and like क्या हो रहा है, like Verstappen जीत रहा है, Dutch national anthem and all this stuff is going on. But it's like Hamilton का भी था phase, and no one was complaining back then. And now all the Hamilton fans are like कि यार ये boring हो गया है, Verstappen ने boring किया है. Like bro, Hamilton also had this big span. So from 2014 to 2020, including those 2 years also, Hamilton only lost 1 year. Imagine that big span.
Yeah.
Only one guy winning everything.
Crazy.
Won't it get boring? Tell me. Like, it
110%. Yeah.
It is crazy and it is admirable कि he did that.
Exactly, but because if you're telling me कि 1951 से चलता आ रहा है sport, how many times like people have done this?
So the highest winning guy was Michael Schumacher, the most famous F1 driver ever. He had 8 championships. 7 championships, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So Hamilton was going to tie the record. He's tied the record, I think. Yeah, he hasn't broken it yet.
Okay.
So he has 7 also, I think. And the thing is, every now and then there will be this new guy that comes along.
Yeah.
This young guy who's brash and arrogant, deservedly so, and he will beat everyone else.
Yeah.
And this happened. Like Schumacher was winning so much. And then came along these new guys like Fernando Alonso came along.
From which country?
Spain.
Okay. Yeah.
So he won 2 years in a row with Renault. And then it was like, Schumacher era has ended. And then a couple of 1 or 2 win wale aise drivers like Hakkinen was there, or Raikkonen was there, whatever. And then came in Hamilton. Hamilton won his championship. The first championship he won was his second season or something, 2008. And then there was an era of 4 years where Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull dominated.
Yeah.
This was the time when we had the races in India.
Oh,
इंटरनेशनल सर्किट पे होता था और वो कुत्ता भागता था ऐसे बीच में से. Yes. कुत्ता भागा था ऐसे बीच में से.
Dude.
So सबको रोक सकते तो मैं कुत्ते को नहीं रोक सकता.
अरे यार no.
But it's not कि like इंडिया में होता है. बाहर के ट्रैक्स में भी there have been animal intrusions and all this.
So it's not. It's not.
Okay.
Because these tracks वो बनाते हैं थोड़ा शहर के बाहर.
हाँ.
तो नेचुरली कि थोड़ा वाइल्ड लाइफ के कुछ होगा. It's okay. It makes sense.
Okay.
But whatever. This was that time. So 2010, 10, 11, 12, 13 or something he won. Straight 4 years. Straight 4 years.
Shit, dude.
And that's insane to think about because F1 I think has the least amount of players compared to like any other sport in like the top level. Only 20 racers who actually race out of the entire world. Only 20 people compete in the highest form of the game. That is the lowest of any other sport.
But at the same time, Chirag, like मैं जितना I have seen about F1, it's not just about those 20 people. There is a lot of thing going behind कि cars में क्या करना है,
exactly,
कौन से track में क्या करना है, and especially
एक कार का setup every track के लिए change होता है.
Yeah.
Every track.
Because you have high down force, low down force.
Temperature पे भी अगर उस दिन इतना डिग्री है तो कौन से टायर्स हमें लेने हैं.
So people were अभी Vegas Grand Prix हुई. Everyone was worried about that because it was in the night time. Desert में night time is cold.
Yeah.
So everyone was worried कि यार इनके टायर में heat generate कैसे होगी, ये कैसे रेस कर पाएंगे, क्या होगा. but eventually they figured it out, because now if it's about the tires, it's not only things to do with the car company. It's not like Mercedes को दिक्कत आएगी. It's also कि Michelin को दिक्कत आएगी. Whoever is sponsoring the tires. अब तो एक ही brand हो गया है. But you know, there was a race in 2006 or 8 or whatever, I don't remember. It was, I think, the US one. There were 2 sets of tires, and the track layout or whatever was so much कि इतना pressure आ रहा था ना आगे वाले tires पे, so वो tires last ही नहीं कर पा रहे थे for more than a certain amount of laps, let's say 5 laps or 10 laps or whatever. So there were 2 companies giving you the tires. There was Michelin and there was Pirelli. ऐसा ही कुछ था, I think, दो. अभी I think Pirelli. So what happened was, one of the companies के tires couldn't take the pressure, and the other company के tires could take the pressure.
और ये एक ही कार में लगे हुए थे.
अलग-अलग cars में.
अच्छा,
like
okay,
some
fine,
companies like Ferrari had Michelin for example,
okay.
and Mercedes had Pirelli. So like 10 teams, 20 drivers. The race starting grid started with 6 cars. That's it. क्योंकि those 6 cars had that one company का tire. So they started and they finished, and it was so boring. Because no one else could compete. कि टायर हमारा चलेगा ही नहीं, तो हम भाई नुकसान थोड़ी करेंगे कारों का. भाई ठुक गई, इतनी millions of dollars are invested in one car, not even like team वाली की दूसरी car or something. And it's insane the amount of engineering it takes to create that car.
Dude, I was watching this video on YouTube. So there's this guy, for the very first time, वो एक F1 के किसी रेस ट्रैक पे गया होगा, and इसमें ना 2 तरह की कार्स होती है. एक होती है जो कि फाइनल कार रेस रहती है, और इसके अलावा एक डाउन वर्जन कार रहती है उसी की.
वो लास्ट सीजन का ही होता है.
अच्छा,
अपग्रेड करके लाते हैं.
तो उसमें क्या होता है, जब एक नॉर्मल पीपल जो भी वहाँ पे विजिट करने जा रहा है, दे कैन एक्चुअली सी कि इस गाड़ी का क्या पावर है, बिकॉज दे वोंट गिव यू द F1 कार. एक लोअर डाउन वर्जन आप लीजिए पहले, एंड देन आप
यूजुअली
अबू धाबी में होता है.
Yes, exactly.
So you can go to Abu Dhabi and you
this comedian Andrew Skulls did this thing recently.
Okay.
So you can go to the Abu Dhabi track when the final race of the season takes place, and you can drive around in a F2 car. I think.
It's an F2 car. It's a second tier car. Yeah. And
उसमें so
it has come like
everything is like
quiet, like decreased amount of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
उसमें that army, like that guy, he was like 6'4", good enough build and everything, ना. And they were like कि आप पहले एक बार ब्रेक मारो, and उसने ब्रेक मारा,
पूरा ऐसे हो गया होगा.
उसने ब्रेक मारा, और उसने बोला कि dude, this is the 20% of the like brake power जो आपने यूज किया है. F1 में is 80 to 90 अगर आपको हर कॉर्नर पे रुकना है. उसमें dude, मैंने मेरी पूरी जान लगा दी, and my maximum was 30% of the brake power I used.
So when people say ना कि it's not a real sport, yeah, बस गाड़ियाँ
these guys lose approximately 4 to 6 kgs during the Singapore Grand Prix, which is the highest. ऐसे भी normal में भी they lose 2 to 3 kgs ऐसे ही, because it's so hot. You're sitting like on top of the engine basically, and it's so hot, and you're there just sweating. You're covered.
But at the same time, you have to
be like very fit for it also.
The neck strength.
Because
the
your
neck
body
strength
it takes, it's insane.
Your body weight matters. If you're overweight,
वो तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना.
आप हो ही नहीं सकते. Exactly.
So Hamilton
explained this in an interview. He was like, even if you're like 10 grams or 20 grams or something,
it will take a toll.
You lose like a tenth.
And dude,
and a tenth is a lot in F1.
It's like
hundreds of seconds back ये बात की 0.001 इतना difference होता है. भाई, you can't risk.
I mean, come on, with that thick neck.
Can't
really question, right? When all that G.
Imagine the drivers that are known for their late braking. बिल्कुल ही एंड में ब्रेक लगाते हैं. More force, man, like it's insane.
At the same time, you need so much of like lower body power because
because you have to balance it.
Push it कि dude बस लग जाए ब्रेक सही टाइम पे.
भाई.
But F1 is really exciting. I feel like जितना मैंने last 1-2 week में, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा तो नहीं.
So if you're new into F1, I would recommend कि watch 2 seasons again. Like try to watch the highlights or like watch a documentary on YouTube or something.
Easy.
Marcus Brownlee also had a like very good video like recently regarding F1.
Yeah, but I'm telling you the story part. Okay, so this is all technical. Okay, which is the biggest thing. But what draws in the fans is the story.
Yeah, definitely.
So
2016 Rosberg versus Hamilton and 2021 Verstappen versus Hamilton. Those two are the best stories in F1 in recent history. And I think a lot of F1 fans would agree with this because those two were like major seasons. So remember I was telling you Hamilton won 2014 to 2020. All the seasons he won except one, 2016 when Rosberg won. Rosberg was a guy in the same team. The two people in the same team are competing for it. They're crashing into each other in like 2 or 3 races. They've crashed into each other. They won't let the other buy. Which is usually normal in F1 कि आपका एक driver best होगा and एक driver secondary होगा. तो if the secondary is in the lead and if you see कि हाँ primary को चाहिए points, तो you'll tell the secondary वाला कि हाँ इसको जाने दे आगे, let him overtake you. Those guys did not listen to the team at all that season. It was so insane. I still remember that 2006 Barcelona race. First turn, they crashed into each other.
Shit, dude.
I don't know what happened. One of them went off, the other one followed, and both of them crashed into each other. It was insane.
That was sad.
At the same time, like, they were good friends, right?
They were the best friends growing up. They grew up together, basically.
Dude.
Like,
ऐसा होता है ना कि घर वाले जानते हैं. Like अच्छी दोस्ती.
उसके साथ तो चले जाओ.
Like bro, ऐसे लेवल के दोस्त. सेम वो था उनका प्रोसेस घुसने का F1 में. Same time पे
घुसा.
Same time, same career.
And they had the same team,
same talent. Because of course वो दोनों रहे होंगे.
And so like how's the like the relationship now? Are they friends?
So now it's like I feel like always there'll be a mutual respect between those two. But from what I've seen in the interviews and everything, Rosberg has been on commentary quite a few times now, like in the recent 2-3 years. So he always compliments Hamilton on his style, his racing style,
and he understands that perspective.
That is just professionalism because
but you have to keep that professionalism. Like what happens on track stays on track, man. Like you can't bring that into the
locker room or whatever.
Commentary point of view ठीक है, but मैं उसे बोल रहा हूँ कि what do you feel like कि personally
थोड़ी तो वो होगी ना. साले ने अबू धाबी में आगे नहीं जाने दिया. but yeah, man, like that story was so insane to think about because being someone's best friend for so long, over a decade, you're into the same sport. You're at the pinnacle of the same sport. You're racing for the best team in the world at that point of time. And yeah, like in the entire season, they had this thing going on. They would be pissed off at each other and like throwing. Like there was a clip कि गुस्सा था Rosberg बैठा था and Hamilton threw the cap ऐसे कि ये ले third place, ये second place वाली cap or something because he came in second. Rosberg was so pissed he just threw the cap ऐसे like it has come on camera all these things and I get it, like as a sports person you obviously get it कि like हाँ why that would happen, but man like that story was the best for me because I was supporting Rosberg back then because I just wanted to see someone else win. And Rosberg coming up and the main thing is usually in F1 same team वाले बंदे compete नहीं करते. It's usually the team has to take a call कि भाई हमारा ये best है, ये supporting है, बस ठीक है. So there's the main lead actor, supporting actor.
But that's it.
Reserve.
Yeah, reserve is not. Like, it is important, obviously, but it's not like it doesn't come into play like during the main season. Unless someone's injured or something. So it was so insane to watch कि भाई ये best friends बच्चे जो थे अब इतने बड़े होके अब एक ही टीम में और फिर झगड़ रहे हैं. And even the two garages, like because they have separate car रखने के garages and separate teams, even those teams wanted their driver to win. It wasn't कि Mercedes जीते because they knew कि Mercedes जीतेगी because they were so good at that time. तो constructors was पक्का, but drivers में when you have to choose between one, it becomes so complicated.
So as you said earlier कि जो हमारा तीसरा वाला रहता है like the reserve वाला player.
Yeah.
F1 में like when we talk about football ये सारी चीजें like ठीक है contact sport है तो injuries होती हैं. F1 में क्या इंजरीज हैं और F1 की इंजरीज का क्या मतलब एक इतनी स्पीडी कार
फुटबॉल में if you talk about the worst injury ever किसी का पैर मुड़ गया होगा पूरा
broken leg
है ना
dude we are like
they stop playing
we have like
that would be the worst है ना
cardiac arrest
हाँ but he's alive
yeah
that wasn't a football related injury
exactly
that was a health concern like था उसको I'm talking about football wise the worst would be किसी का पैर ही टूट गया and he stops playing है ना F1 में the worst is you die because the car's top speed is more than 350 kilometers
average speed is 100 only
dude अपनी कार इधर कोई भी चला लो I-10
exactly
कुछ भी भाई सिटी में कौन लेके जाता है 100 चल 150 भी ले लो हाईवे हो गया तो चल 180 का अच्छी कार में 200 भाई 350 किलोमीटर पर आवर
especially that weight car like
it's insane and you think about कि थोड़ा सा भी अगर ऐसा हुआ you can like slip off the track and crash into the barricades or whatever and ऐसा नहीं कि deaths हुई नहीं है like a very famous driver like I was telling you before this Ayrton Senna and Brazil में F1 is huge Ayrton Senna back in the day he died during a race it was the saddest moment Brazil declared like a 5 or 7
how did it happen
period. I really don't remember the accident but it was a on track in race accident so even the famous movie Rush it showed Niki Lauda Niki Lauda was someone who was a great racer he led Mercedes also during Hamilton and all this Rosberg and all this stuff and that guy had his half of his body burnt off like दिखते हैं उस पे marks अब तो he is dead rest in peace but जब था it happened because of the weather conditions and आप कैसे रेस कर रहे हो and sometimes you know it's out of your control and you can't do much about it but that's the thing F1 is very dangerous if you crash you can break your wrists like it's so easy because either you're holding the steering wheel or you're just holding your body like this like so you have to think about this instantly क्या करना है आपको if your hand is on the steering wheel there's a high chance कि आपके wrist टूट सकते हैं
but yeah the point is कि when you are moving at the speed of 300 kilometers a lot can go wrong
exactly
a lot
like थोड़ा सा भी कुछ
exactly
and the thing is it's not your fault always
कभी
कार में कुछ खराब हो गया कभी कुछ सामने आ गया ऐसे कोई गीला है ट्रैक थोड़ा सा स्लिप हो गए कोई चलेगा
कुछ भी हो सकता है
चेंज किए वहां पे
कुछ भी हो सकता है मैन कुछ भी हो सकता है
very risky
so this is why I feel like bro you can't compare it to any other sport because no other sport has this thing कि आप मर जाओगे maybe UFC because but वो भी it's now safe because of the referees and all the interventions F1 is a different thing man like they have so many safety protocols and like in 2020 I think it was 2020 Bahrain or Qatar Kevin Magnussen was the driver Kevin Magnussen no it was Nico Hülkenberg or someone like a normal driver not a championship level driver that guy crashed into the barricade the steel barricade the car split open half like कार आधी हो गई आधी बैरिकेड में से अटकी हुई बीच में आग लग गई this guy was inside that car for 1 minute or more than 1 minute
okay
in a burning car
fuck
ऐसा नहीं कि कांच है उसके अंदर वो आग जल रही है this is an open wheel वाला concept
yes
he's in that fire and thanks to the safety regulations and all these technological improvements कि आपके पास एक halo है वो protect करने के लिए you have these fireproof gloves and fireproof costumes and everything and helmet and everything luckily 1 minute was like enough कि वो बच जाए उसमें आ गए बहुत quick to act थे marshals and everything thank God वरना we could have lost a driver and ऐसे टाइम पे कुछ ऐसा होना
exactly it is always bad for the sport you don't want that to be happening
so this is the thing like I feel it's very dangerous.
I think ना लोगों का जो point of view है regarding F1, it is very about कि यार this is the race, like there are 10 cars, 20 cars, and बस race कर रहा है.
But it's so much more, man.
It's so much more.
आप टायर बदलने एक लैप पहले चले गए, आप हार सकते हो पूरी
बस
रेस.
खत्म. आपका pit stop अगर गलत रहा, fuck up रहा, pit stop में देख.
So this is the Verstappen and Hamilton वाला thing.
Yes.
They last race of the season, okay? The two of them went in tied on points.
Okay.
So they had, I think, like 239 or कुछ जो भी whatever the number was, they were tied exact. अगर इसके 240 पॉइंट है, इसके भी 240 पॉइंट. So whoever wins the race or whoever comes at a better position wins the championship. And that race, Verstappen was leading in the beginning. Like he wasn't leading, Hamilton was leading, and then Perez, the Red Bull second driver, helped Verstappen get to first. थोड़ी देर था Verstappen first, and then again Hamilton dominated the race. Last lap के like with 5 laps to go or something, Latifi, a smaller driver in terms of level, crashed. Okay, so now you have the yellow flag, so you can't overtake during the yellow flag. So there are certain amount of cars that went to the pit to change the tires, because if you pit during a yellow flag, आपका वो time कम होता है. Like let's say आपको pit में 25 seconds लगते हैं पूरा cross करने में, because speed limiters होते हैं उधर भी. So now it will be like 15 seconds.
Okay.
So there's a huge gap. ऐसे. So these guys went to pit, including Verstappen. Okay, Hamilton did not, because he felt कि until they clear this, and they have after clearing they have to have one lap clear track pe without overtaking yellow flag, and then the safety car goes in, and then you can race. This is the process which was not followed that day.
Okay.
So the guy in charge of the everything, like decisions and everything, like to take the incident to the judges or whatever, that guy started calling his own shots, and basically last lap pe he wanted to have the race, because he didn't want to end the season ऐसे on a yellow flag, especially like such a competitive and amazing season.
You want a result, yeah.
So he was like, race तो करनी है. So he was like, okay, let's say there are like 6 cars who have pitted, so they'll be in the back of the field, right? Technically, so you have to let them cross आगे पहले कि they go to the back like properly ऐसे, and then you start these guys का race. So he didn't let like all the cars cross or whatever. And eventually what happened in the last lap was they got a running start. Hamilton had old tires, which generated very less speed. Verstappen had new tires, which were giving a lot of speed. And Verstappen overtook him in the last lap.
Yeah.
And imagine winning the championship on the last lap of the last race of the season. It was
exciting,
insane to watch.
Yeah.
Man, that moment was so surreal to watch. I was supporting Verstappen, so I was like very happy. but yeah, like it was so weird to watch. Because F1 mein you can't make the rules stick. There's so many different things that can happen, and like minor things. So it's very difficult, and this is a challenge F1 is facing now. Because the more global it gets, the more it needs to attract these audiences with smaller attention spans. So to attract them, you have to have a certain amount of rules, and you have to tell them those rules कि हाँ ये rule है तो ऐसा होता है ये. But in F1 you can't do that, because there's so many rules.
Yeah, exactly. Technical, yeah. So it's very situational also, yeah.
And incidents also जो होते हैं, they're taken to the judges, and judges don't watch the full race. They only watch that one incident individually. So
why is that?
No, so unbiased होंगे ना. If they watch the full race, then they'll be like कि हाँ इसने पहले भी ऐसा किया था, and like oh वो तो उधर से आया, and all. You can't put all of this into this ना, फिर वो biased हो जाएगा, थोड़ा halo effect आ जाएगा उसमें.
And like वो सारे स्पोर्ट्स में से एक थर्ड एम्पायर होता है, ऐसा कुछ होता है, बट अगर बिटवीन द रेस अगर ऐसी कोई चीज हो रही है जो कि एक टीम को अपील करनी है, सो डू दे हैव दिस DRS और something weird?
No, so
they do, the teams can go to the stewards,
but after the like race,
no,
even during they can like send them this thing, email or message or whatever, जो कुछ communication का होता है phone
अच्छा, okay.
We don't see it on screen, but they can talk to the steward.
और ये फिर mid race
sometimes, as for example, driver ने बोला कि he left the track to overtake me, so he has to give me back the position. So they'll be like, yeah, we're looking into it. So that basically is कि हाँ हम उनसे बात कर रहे हैं कि आप ऑर्डर दो आपके साइड से उस दूसरे टीम को कि अपने ड्राइवर को बोले कि हटे क्योंकि ये गलत हुआ है. So they'll review and they'll tell the driver.
अंदर रेस होता ही होता है.
So this is the रेडियो वाला फायदा. पहले ये सब नहीं होता था रेडियो. So
dude, F1 has come a very long way because see, क्रिकेट उसी ग्राउंड पे होता है, उन्हीं प्लेयर्स के बीच में होता है, उन्हीं रूल्स के साथ होता है. फुटबॉल भी वही होता है, बट यहाँ पे
दिस इज अ वेरी अनलिमिटेड स्पोर्ट. in a lot of ways, I think. Like especially because of the Netflix show, man, बहुत help हुई है. You see even tennis में Netflix show की वजह से अब थोड़ा बढ़ रहा है, and they followed the same footsteps कि हाँ F1 ने किया तो हम भी करके देखें.
ट्राई करते हैं.
But the only thing was कि they couldn't get stars like Djokovic and Nadal onto the show.
So now they're back, right?
Yeah.
Djokovic is still there.
Yeah.
Nadal had taken a 7 or 8 month hiatus due to his injury.
But I think in the next abhi to kuch
he's back. He's like practicing. He's announced on his Insta through a lot of videos in Spanish with subtitles ki yeah, I'm coming back. But the thing is with Nadal, he's so injury prone. I don't know if you followed
that. I do.
He's so injury prone because of his aggressive style of play.
And throughout the years,
it takes a toll.
Yeah, exactly. On your body. And he's very like what's his age?
I think 39.
39, and he has always performed at the peak of tennis. Right? He has always.
So since he came,
he was, I think, the youngest to beat Federer in Wimbledon or whatever. Like since he came, he was a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, like there was no period of his career where Rafael Nadal was not a big deal. He was always a big deal. And to be at the top of a sport for so many years, like he has set so many records that you can't even imagine कि कोई तोड़ेगा. You know, like when you talk about football, you see Messi's 91 goal record. No one's beating that, man. Like realistically,
that is very tough.
You see Ronaldo's international goal record. No one's beating those things. Never gonna happen. Similarly, these guys have their own records. So Rafael Nadal, you have 4 Grand Slams during the year. Australian, French, US and Wimbledon. Wimbledon and US. So Wimbledon, Federer has won 7.
Okay.
Insane. कि भाई तू 7 अलग साल आया है और जीता है. And Wimbledon is like very difficult because it's grass. You don't usually play on that surface for the entire year. It's only those 1 or 2 months. So it's very difficult to get used to it and everything. And then there's the French Open.
Yeah.
Bro, Rafael Nadal has won it like 14 times.
Oof.
14 different years. He has come.
Shit, dude.
And he has dominated. He has lost only 2 or 3 matches in his entire career in the French Open.
And physically, it's a very exerting game, right?
And plus, it's clay. Clay is supposed to be the hardest surface one can get used to in terms of like playing on hard courts or grass courts or clay courts. This guy has dominated. Like
14 years.
14 different years he's done. He's dominated. He's beaten everyone. And
dude,
only he has like, I think he still has only just those 2 losses, 3 losses. I think 2 times against Djokovic and 1 time against that other guy. I don't remember his name, but that was a shocker. But like, imagine this guy coming to the French Open for 16 to 17 years and winning 14 of them. Like when he comes onto the court now, it's become such a thing. Like I want to hear that intro again.
Yeah.
Because they make the player intros when he's walking onto the court, and the guy will say in French, French Open winner 2008, 9, 10, 11, and it's so fun to like, bro, and he's so humble. Like as a player, Nadal has never, and a lot of people would agree. You've seen Djokovic have these moments where he's aggressive or breaks the racket or whatever. Nadal, I don't remember any
Yeah.
moment in his career where he's
It's
done,
very
like,
calm, yeah.
broken a racket or what. He's so humble and he's so calm ऐसे इन चीजों में. He does get mad, he does get angry.
But yeah,
But his thing is कि I'll show them on the court.
Yeah.
Like, I'll
Like-
make them run so much. And he's an insane player. Like, even though Djokovic has more Grand Slams, and I feel like Djokovic will finish his career as the greatest because of the Grand Slam record. But again, in my opinion, for me,
it will always
Nadal
be
will
up.
be the best. Because the thing is, and even Djokovic, like, the thing is, these guys, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal, बने एक दूसरे की वजह से.
Yeah.
Like, these three, they needed that competition to build them up.
होता ही
कहीं
नहीं.
ना कहीं वो हेल्प भी हुआ है मोटिवेशन
हाँ.
के हिसाब से.
वरना, like, even if one of them wasn't there ना,
Yeah.
वो level नहीं
वो
पहुंचते.
हाँ. Because
It's like same like Ronaldo, Messi, like yeah, if he has
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so many Ballon d'Ors, I also want some.
Yeah. So it's about getting competitive with
Yeah.
the right people, I guess. But yeah, what a sport, man.
dude, crazy.
Tennis, man. So this was the thing, okay? Last year he came back, Nadal, and it was the most amazing thing that happened. I think it was last year, last 22 or 23. I don't remember which year, but yeah, I remember the entire 6 month span. He came back from injury in December, much like he's coming back now. He played a small tournament in Doha or Qatar or like basic essay, low level, just to like warm up. January में the season starts. He went to Australia. He played 2 mid-level competitions. He won them. Okay, this is okay. Mid-level, Djokovic is in there.
Of course,
ठीक है, कर लिया, okay. So people are like, हाँ, he's doing good, but will he be able to win the Australian Open?
Yeah.
That's a big doubt. He went to the Australian Open. He reached the finals, and he was, so you have to win 3 sets. So it's a best of 5 wala. He was 2 sets down. He was losing to
First two.
Medvedev. Yeah, first 2. He
Yeah.
was losing to Medvedev. 2 sets down. He won the match. He came back.
Shit, dude.
He destroyed Medvedev in those last 3 sets.
Yeah.
He won all those 3 sets. The match went on for like 4-5 hours or something. What a match, man. Like, I remember I spent like half the day watching that. It was so insane to watch
Dude,
him
yeah.
make that come. Like, dude, I'm not done. And
So they had to play 5 sets, right? But like, what if you would like win the first 3? Would
so
you?
you're done. Match is done.
As a match is done.
Best
Like
of
no.
3, na? You win 3. So he was just 1 set away from losing.
Yeah.
And then the entire year would have been different.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he was like, no, I have
No.
to win this.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've got some spoilers for you.
Because these guys have made these jokes, huh? Djokovic, Nadal, whenever they face each other and whatever. They make these jokes ki, we're not that old yet.
Yeah.
We're still going on.
Yeah.
है अभी भी हमारे में ऐसा ऐसा. So हाँ, it's like कि हाँ, they're still there.
Yeah, but यार like tennis itself is like is a very India में भी अभी I think उसका काफी ज़्यादा uprise आ रहा है. Like people have started watching it again, and that is also true that shows like the shows which are like made by Netflix are
Playing a like
because you understand the game and like everybody wants to watch something these days, you know.
हाँ.
तो ठीक है, F1 के बारे में देख लिया, टेनिस के बारे में देख लिया, and then these are of course football वाला.
Yeah.
So,
Football
yeah,
के भी कुछ होने चाहिए यार ऐसे.
I think Amazon already have
Some,
some.
no? But like those are like team documentaries. Yeah.
Like full season follow everyone.
Yeah,
थोड़ा एक
yeah.
कुछ
क्या
chaotic
something.
ऐसा कुछ system लाओ कि भाई सबको देख
If
पाए.
if any Netflix
Producer is
Yeah.
watching this.
I doubt that, but okay. But हाँ, like ऐसा कुछ it would be fun to
yeah.
कि यार ये टीम हारी तो ये टीम देख रही थी मैच लाइव ऐसे.
Yeah.
Like क्या reaction.
But exciting enough.
But yeah, I feel like tennis is a whole different thing, man. Like, this guy didn't only win the Australian Open that year. He went on to win another mid-tier tournament in the middle. He went on to win the French Open again.
Yeah.
It was his 14th or 15th, I don't know, man. He has so many wins. Like, French Open is like, they have a statue of him outside the stadium.
Yeah.
जैसे सचिन का वानखेड़े पे है ना, वैसे नडाल का वो है फ्रेंच ओपन स्टेडियम के बाहर. Because
Crazy.
He's that big.
Yeah. It's that important also for the sport. Yeah.
He's huge, man. He's been a, the watch company Richard Mille.
Yeah.
Richard Mille, the actual guy, the owner, is friends with Rafael Nadal.
Acha.
Through their long tenure of being in the sports industry, watches and everything. And they made Nadal never wore watches during matches. And a lot of people do wear the sports wala and all this. He never wore watches because he was like, मेरा balance off होता है. And he's left-handed. Watch भी left में पहनता है. So थोड़ा, it makes sense. This guy, the leading watch manufacturer in terms of luxury watches, made him a sports watch. Balanced. Like customized for him.
Yeah.
With the like least amount of weight.
Yeah.
And that guy convinced him to wear it. And since then, he's had so many Richard Milles just given to him.
Yeah.
Rafael Nadal edition, Spain edition, this edition, that edition, bro.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. Even Djokovic with his Lacoste deal and all, he's like earning, man.
Yeah, like watches का like काफी ज़्यादा tennis से regarding रहा भी. I mean, like I think Rolex, that Rolex thing was.
Even F1, Rolex is a big sponsor.
Yeah.
Every track you see, there'll be a Rolex. The stopwatch they show on track, the first thing, it's Rolex every time.
Crazy. So I guess this is it.
Yeah.
This is all the time we had. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like what you see, please leave your comment, like, and do subscribe us. And we'll see you next week.
With another episode.
Yes. Thank you so much.